let's talk about one of the most powerful, but honestly, one of the most overlooked tools in the entire SEO toolbox. I'm talking about internal linking. It's the secret to making sure your best work actually gets the attention it deserves from search engines. So let's pull back the curtain and see how this whole thing works.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever spent hours, maybe even days, creating a fantastic piece of content, you hit publish, and then crickets? Almost zero traffic from the search engines? It is incredibly frustrating, and it happens all the time. But the reason for it is usually a lot simpler than you might think.
You have to remember, search engines are basically explorers, and your website is this new territory they have to chart. If you don't give them a map that points them from one spot to another, they can get lost and completely miss huge parts of your site. Well, guess what? Internal links are that map. They guide the search engines and your users to every single valuable piece of content you've made.
To really nail this down, we need to think about how search engines actually see the web. See, they don't just read pages one by one. They're constantly analyzing the relationships between pages. And the main language they use to figure all that out? It's links. Think of it like this. Every link pointing to a page is like a vote of confidence. So when one of your own pages links to another, you're essentially tapping a search engine on the shoulder and saying, hey, pay attention. This page over here is really important. It's valuable. And the more of those votes a page gets, the more authority it builds up.
All right, so let's get super clear on the definition here. What are we actually talking about when we say internal links? You can think of them as the connective tissue that holds your entire website together.
Yep, it's really that simple. A link from your homepage to your About Us page? That's an internal link. A link from a blog post about training tips to your main services page? That's also an internal link. They're the threads that weave all your individual pages together, turning a random collection of content into one cohesive website.
And this brings us to the most important difference: control. Now, getting other websites to link to you, external links, is a big part of SEO, but it's totally unpredictable. You're relying on someone else. Internal links, though, they are 100% in your control. You decide where they go, when you add them, and what they say. That makes them your single most powerful, controllable SEO tool, period.
Okay, now for a concept that's a little more abstract, link value. Just imagine your homepage is the most powerful, most authoritative page on your site. When it links out to other pages, it passes a little piece of that authority, that voting power, to each of those pages. This is exactly how you strategically spread importance across your entire website.
And the effect is, well, it's huge. You can see it right here. A page with just one or two links pointing to it? Sure, it has some value. But look what happens when a page becomes a clear destination, when it's getting lots of internal links from other relevant pages. It basically screams to search engines, this is a major hub, and its perceived importance just skyrockets.
Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. How do you actually use this stuff? Well, it all starts with the big picture structure of your site. And the best way to think about it is like a pyramid.
Right at the very top, the peak of the pyramid, you've got your homepage. That's almost always your most powerful page. From there, that link value flows down to your main categories or sections. And then from those categories, it flows down again to all the individual blog posts and pages that make up the wide foundation of your site. It's a really clean hierarchy that's super easy for search engines to understand.
So once you have that pyramid structure in place, we can zoom in and get specific about the links themselves. Because here's the thing, you can't just link randomly. Every link should have a purpose.
So here's the most crucial part of the strategy. You have to know that not all of your content is created equal. You need to figure out what your cornerstone content is. These are your absolute best, most important, in-depth articles, the ones you really want to be known for.
Let's look at a perfect example. Say your big Cornerstone article is The Ultimate Guide to Keyword Research. Well, then every other smaller, more specific article you write about that topic, like mistakes to avoid or what are long-tail keywords, all of them should link back to that main guide. What this does is create a powerful topic cluster, funneling all that authority from the little pages right up to the big one.
And hey, don't forget about the most valuable real estate on your entire website. For your absolute top-tier, most critical Cornerstone pages, you want to link to them directly from your homepage or from your main navigation menu. A link from a place like that is like a supercharged vote of confidence.
Now, as powerful as internal linking is, you can definitely get it wrong. So let's quickly go over a few common mistakes that can actually undo all your hard work and even hurt your site's visibility.
The biggest mistake of all is creating what's called orphaned content. This is a page that's just floating out there all by itself with zero internal links pointing to it. If you don't link to a page from somewhere else on your site, search engines and, actual people will probably never, ever find it. It's like building a house but forgetting to add any doors.
Okay, mistake number 2 is using bad, unnatural anchor text. An anchor text is just the clickable words in a link. I'm sure you've seen sentences like this just jammed with keywords. It sounds awful to a real person, and trust me, search engines are now smart enough to see this as a spammy, low-quality tactic.
A much better way to do it is to make your anchor text sound natural and descriptive. Look here, the link text, full collection of running shoes, flows perfectly in the sentence. It tells the user and the search engine exactly what they're going to get if they click. It's clear, it's helpful, and it works.
All right, let's wrap this all up. What are the big takeaways? First, remember to think of your internal links as a map for your site. Second, use that map to pass link value and show the search engines what your most important pages are. Third, structure your whole site like a pyramid. Fourth, funnel authority from all your smaller posts up to your big cornerstone content. And finally, always use natural, descriptive anchor text.
So that leaves us with one final thought. You now know how to build the map and draw all the roads on your website. The only question left is, which page are you going to make the most important destination? What piece of content are you going to elevate to become the central hub for everything else? Go make it visible.